Hello, everybody. So, yesterday we talked about right angles, and today we're going to talk about acute angles. So, we have the same standard MGSE4G1. Draw points, lines, line segments, raise angles. Those angles are right, acute, obtuse, and perpendicular and parallel lines. Identify these in two-dimensional figures. Remember from yesterday, examples of two-dimensional figures are circles, squares, rectangles, and triangles. So, we are focusing on acute angles today, and we're going to identify these acute angles in two-dimensional figures. Remember, we are not drawing them today. We are identifying them. As a review, what is an angle? An angle has two rays that share the same endpoint. The point where the rays intersect is called the vertex of the angle. The two rays are called the sides of the angle. Remember from yesterday, a right angle is an angle measuring 90 degrees. The following angles are both right angles. So again, today's focus will be on acute angles. An acute angle is an angle measuring between 0 and 90 degrees. The following angles are acute angles. So basically, acute angles measure less than 90 degrees. Any angles that you see that measure less than 90 degrees are acute angles. So just like yesterday when we used our sheet of paper to identify right angles, we're going to use our sheet of paper to identify acute angles today. So I have my sheet of paper. Remember, each corner of the paper has right angles. So how does that work with acute angles? With acute angles, if any of the sides come inward on the right angle, then it is an acute angle. Let's see how that works. So I have a couple of items that we are going to measure using our sheet of paper to see if we have acute angles. So the first object that I have a pair of scissors. They're normally closed, and we're going to open them up to about right here. And we're going to line it up with the corner of our paper to see if we have an acute angle. So when I line it up with the corner, this is the angle that we're looking at. So when I line it up, it goes inward. And remember, I stated if it goes inward, if the sides go inward, then we have an acute angle. So these scissors have an acute angle. Next object that I'm going to measure is a wand. We're going to measure the star part of the wand. We're going to measure this angle that we see within here. So we're going to place it on the corner of our sheet of paper again. This is the part that we're measuring. And as you see, it goes inward as well. So we have an acute angle within the wand part. With the star part of the wand, we have an acute angle. Next, I have drawn the letter A, a capital letter A, and we're going to measure the angle that's within the letter A. So I'm going to turn my paper this way just so it's easier to line up with the corner of my paper. So I have my paper. Again, I line it up with the corner, and you notice that the side goes inward. It does not line up. So the letter A, the capital letter A, has an acute angle. Now for your assignment. Your assignment is for you to write out all the letters of the alphabet with capital letters, and you're going to use your sheet of paper to identify which letters have right angles and which letters have acute angles. You're going to create a chart, and you're going to place those letters in the correct category. whether they have right angles or acute angles. And we already know from the video that the letter A has what type of angle? That's correct. It has an acute angle. I can't wait to see your answers that you post in our Google Classroom, and we're going to discuss it on Monday in our 11 o'clock Zoom conference.